Hello?
Hi Shaz, Michael.
Oh, yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you worked it out?
Okay. All right. Finally, we can speak to each other.
At
Let me just
last.
let me just take this off Bluetooth. I'm just going to take this off. Um, yes. I'm having some tricky. I'm just getting familiar with it myself. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, that's excellent. Excellent. So we got it working. What did you do at your end?
Now I tried to use TikTok on my computer and it won't let me do it. And
Ah,
that's
I
use my
see.
mobile phone.
I see. I think yeah. I think it's better if we just stick with the mobile phone just to start with and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, But yeah, I think we're live. We're live now. I think people can hear you as well. There's only about. Let me just see. I'm just checking. There's only two of the people here. So and I'll put you down as a moderator. But
Okay.
just get familiar with the settings and stuff. But you're all right to join now, isn't it? Like, I think if I put it extended view, I think there's loads of other people that can and you can plus to invite them to join as well, can't you?
Yeah.
There's this Rufio Hassan, but I can't seem to get him to talk. Um, Maybe you can just come in on one of the invites. And yeah, just getting familiar with it all.
There's a person called Dave just joined.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you and I we can just talk about our own stuff, and then people can come in on. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to find people that have been mistreated by the state and had their loved ones like prematurely, having their life ended. So I just wanted to take this opportunity for you to tell me about your story, and I think this will be recorded, so I can then see how it goes. How does that sound? You were telling me can I just get a brief summary about what's been happening to you?
My mother was put in a nursing home by the state
Okay. And when was this?
in 2017. She broke her wrist in St James Hospital. And in 2018, she was put in the nursing home in Halifax.
Okay, and St James is in Leeds.
Yep.
Okay, all right. And as a consequence of her breaking her wrist, so can I just ask, how did she break her wrists?
Where they tried to calm her down because she had got schizophrenia. She went airwire.
Oh, okay, all right.
And they didn't monitor her, and with the drugs still in the system, she managed to fall on the floor and she broke her wrist.
And this was while she was at St James's Hospital.
Yeah, in A&E department.
Well, it just goes to show you, you go into an A&E well, fit and well, and then you end up breaking your wrist. So that allowed them to get. So that was the start of your journey into the care system in the UK, isn't it? And
Yes.
you and your mum ended up in the care system, or did you say 2017?
2000, yeah, 2017, yeah.
Yeah, and your journey lasted in the care system. And when did your mum pass away again?
2019.
So quite literally from 17 to 29. So she was literally in the care system for 2 years before she was prematurely unalived.
Yeah.
All right. So talk us through your journey from 2017. She's entered the care system. How did she end up dying then?
She was she was abused in 2018, November, by a mental health nurse and a carer. In 2018, went to trial at Bradford Crown Court because I caught them with a camera.
Also, could you just slow it down a little bit, Michael? Could we talk about how exactly did I mean, she ended up she was at St James's. She ended up breaking her wrist. She's ended up going to a care home, and she was at the care home. Just slow it down a little. What kind of treatment? How was the care home? I mean, did she just go to the one care home, or were there many care homes that she went to?
Well,
And
she went to the Dales in Halifax, what's mental hospital, part of the psychiatrist mental hospital. and then from there they transferred her to one care home in Halifax. Then from that care home, they couldn't cope with the first care home, couldn't cope with my mum. Then they moved my mum to an EMI care home, what was meant for people with dementia and mental health problems.
What does EMI stand for? Do you know? I've come across that term before.
Edley, it's Edley Summer Infirm.
Oh, I see, I see.
Edley Medical Infirm.
Okay, all right. Yeah, yeah, I understand. And so she's ended up in a care home. And then what's happened? How was the treatment there? Was it okay to start with, or was it poor quality from start to finish?
From start to finish, very poor quality. Not feeding my mum properly, leaving in soaking wet bed, urine bed, all sorts of problems.
And did you raise those concerns with the care home? How did they treat you?
Not good.
Okay. I mean, usually they tell you to put a complaint in. Did you put any formal complaints in?
Complaint at staff, complaint at social workers,
Okay.
complaint to everybody who I can think of.
And what was the response to those complaints? Were they just ignored?
Go through one ear, come out the other ear.
Yeah, that's often what they try to. Did you get anything in writing? I mean, did they formally put a complaint to you? Respond to you in writing?
Nope.
Okay, all right. Because normally, it's like you can elevate the matter if it's in writing and you've got a final response from them. Because if you take it somewhere else, they won't even entertain it until they've got like you've got a final response from the complaint procedure. But it just seems to me that they just kept it as an informal basis and was not taking it formally seriously. So
No.
so what happened is that she was in a care home. She was not being looked after properly. You were raising complaints. Then what happened? How did the situation escalate?
Where one day my mum was saying to me somebody was hitting her, and because she didn't speak English, she said it in Italian. And she was saying to me, there's a man and a woman hitting her. A man and a woman is hitting her one day.
All right.
And I said to Mum, I've got no proof.
All right.
It's my word against your words for me to put a camera in. And that's how I caught the mental health nurse and carer dragging my mum across the floor in 2018.
How did you catch them?
I put a spy camera under the desk.
All right. And talk me through that journey. I mean, your mum was in this care home. She was not happy with she was not happy with you were not happy with the care that she was receiving. So you decided to put a spy camera in. How did that go? I mean, that's what instigated your need to put a camera in there. But how did you arrange that? I mean, it couldn't have been done overtly, could it? What happened?
I just bought a little camera and I stuck it underneath the desk where they couldn't see it. And I just monitored it. And within a week, I caught the mental health nurse and carer dragging my mum across the floor.
Oh dear, oh dear. And what did you do once you realized that your mother was being ill-treated? How did you then proceed? How did you take the matter further?
Because it happened on the Friday evening, and I went to see my mum on the Saturday, and I saw the state what she was in. When I took the camera home Saturday evening, and I looked at the camera, looked at the viewing of it, the footage, and I went to visit my mum on the Sunday. I didn't say anything to staff, I didn't say anything to management. On the Monday morning, I rang Safeguarding up.
All right.
And Safeguarding said to me, "Wait, can you email me it?" And I says, "No, you have to come to my flat to watch it."
All right.
And from and they came the following day to the flat and they viewed it,
Okay.
the footage.
Who exactly came down?
The social workers from
Is it
safeguarding.
oh, all right. So they asked you to email the footage to them, the abuse that was taking place, and
You
you
know,
you asked them, no, I want you to come down and let me see what's happening.
yeah, I told them to come down and view it all together.
Okay, all right. And so somebody from safeguarding came down and viewed this footage.
Yeah, two of them.
Okay, all right. And then what happened then? You showed them your mother being abused.
I showed them the footage and they were shocked. And they said it has to be reported to the manager and to the police, and they did that for me.
All right.
They reported to the manager. The both culprit got suspended from work,
Okay.
and the police called me a few days' time to do a copy on a SD stick for them to view it and for me to make a statement to them.
I see. Okay. So the police came down. Did you go to the police station or did the police come down to your house?
No, I went to the police station.
All right. And so they got a copy of your covert recording of your mother being abused. You made a statement to them. Then how did the matter proceed there? What happened to your mum? Was she still in the same care home?
The people, the authorities who put my mum in the care home, the NHS CCG,
Okay.
refused to move my mum from that care home.
So let me get this right. You got covert footage of your mum being abused at that care home. You've reported it to the police. The CCG have been made aware of this, but yet they're still not removed your mother. She's still in that place where she was being abused.
Yes.
Okay, and so just talk to me what happened then. How long was she there for before she was moved?
They never moved her. She stayed there till she passed away at Huddersfield Hospital.
Okay, all right. So just to recap, your mum ended up in the care system in 2017. By 2018, a year later, you've got footage that she's being abused, and you've forwarded that to. You've made a safeguarding alert and forwarded it to the police, and made everybody aware of that your mum's being abused in this care home, and then they've not done anything. What's happened then? Take your time.
They didn't do nothing. Fighting them to move my mum from that care home to move to another care home, or for my mum to sell her property and to buy a bungalow,
Okay.
because the state was paying for my mum's care
All right.
because she's got dementia and stuff. And because they're saying that mum didn't have capacity, and I knew my mum had capacity because of language barrier. When you got language barriers problem when you're from another country, then a person doesn't understand what they're saying. It causes massive problems.
Sorry, what language? What language did your mum speak?
Mum spoke Italian.
Did she understand English or did she speak any English?
She understood English, but she spoke pidgin English. She understood everything what the person's saying, but the people didn't understand my mum.
I see. I see. Okay. I see. So your mum's still in this care facility. You've reported the abuse. What have the police done about it, and what have the safeguarding people done about it?
The police arrested the two culprits
And who were
for
they?
what they've done to my mum. Yeah,
Were they the carers?
the mental health nurse and the carer.
Okay, all right. So they both got arrested. So they were no longer with your mum then.
Nope.
All right. So how do you know what happened to the CC, like the video recording? You did it on one occasion, you caught them. Did you put it back in again, or was this pigeon, as they said, was the cat out of the bag then? And did you record them subsequently?
The cat was out of the bag. They knew a camera just set when I go every day to visit my mum, and I saw the state she was left in the bed and stuff.
All right.
Then I'll video record it as witnesses,
Okay.
as proof.
All right. So was there still neglect taking place after you reported it to the police?
It was neglecting the care home, yeah.
And and after you have put some covert recordings, reported it to the police, did you notice an improvement in the quality your mum was receiving the care, or was she still being neglected?
Just still being neglected.
That's shocking, isn't it? Absolutely shocking that you can get some evidence together. So just quickly tell us what happened as a consequence of you reporting this to the police and them, investigating the matter. Just talk us through what happened then to the care staff.
After it's been investigated and it went to court, after my mum passed away in 2019, and because of COVID, he didn't get to court till 2021.
Okay.
And they both got sentenced at Bradford Crown Court. The mental health nurse got 250 hours community order, period of 18 months. The carer got 180 hours community order, period of 18 months. They both got bar and disclosure order on both of them. The cat work on vulnerable children, vulnerable adults. And the nurse got struck off in 2022. She lost her license.
So so the care staff could no longer. Just tell us, just briefly tell us, and I don't mean you to go into much details. What did you record? Because obviously you're saying that you recorded abuse. What was that abuse? Because I would think that they would have received custodial sentences, but just tell us exactly what you found in the recordings after you put in a covert recording.
I caught them dragging my mum from the bathroom, from the toilet, across the floor using a band drag lift and drag lifted her onto the bed and mishandling or whatever on my mum. Then walking out of the room while my mum had a chance to go to the toilet, and my mum was shouting. Mum was begging them she wanted to go to the toilet, and then me coming to visit my mum next day, and seeing her bed soaking wet in urine, and she still had the same clothes from day before, without changing my mum and put her in a nightie, whatever.
Well, I mean, it's quite shocking, isn't it, that this is what you recorded like 24 hours before, and then the next day, was it the Saturday that you went and visited and got the camera and reviewed it all, and while you were there, you saw the fact that she was still left in such a awful state, and that was just on one occasion that you've caught them. Just imagine how many other occasions that they would have got away with. What I'm surprised about is the sentencing. I mean, recently we've had these riots in Leeds, and as a consequence of people just sending messages, they've faced jail time. And yet you're telling me that none of these people faced any jail time for physically abusing your elderly mother and leaving her in that state.
Nobody's been in that state. Nobody's invited. I don't know, because the judge said saying how many. I was wondered how many other people is being abused in that care home.
Yes, exactly. Is the care home still running?
The care home's still running, but it's under different authorities.
Yeah, that's what they normally do, innit? They just pass the book and say it's just like different management. But yeah. is the care home manager, is she still the same? Because often what happens is that they just change owners and just leave the situation as it is.
At the time my mum was there, they changed the management.
Okay.
But after that, I don't know.
All right. Yeah. So these proceedings were ongoing, and that was in. Did you say November 2018?
My mum was abused November 2018 and she passed away 2019.
So this abuse that took place in November 2018, that did not cause her death, did it?
No, the abuse from 2018 didn't cause my mum's death, no.
Okay, so talk us through the journey of she's been abused by the care staff. You reported this to the police. The police are gonna eventually convict those care staff. But what has led to your mother's death? I mean, did she have a debilitating condition, or because she's only entered the care system in 2017? So how come a year later she's dead?
Mum had dementia. They said that my mum had dementia. And they was giving my mum the drug risperidone and progabalin.
I see. And what? I'm very unfamiliar with these drugs. So your mum's been abused in November 2018. Have you noticed a deterioration in her condition? A gradual deterioration? I'm just trying to understand what kind of drug did they put her? Did they change her medication?
They refused to change her medication. They said it was the best medication for her.
And how long was she on that medication as soon as she arrived in the care home?
I think it started off in hospital. I'm not 100% sure. While looking at my mum's medical records.
Okay, all right. So during that 2-year period, it seems to me that she was always on inappropriate medication that was deteriorating her, and that eventually, you would argue, led to. What do you think? What do you think led to her death?
Not looking after my mum properly. By feeding her properly, giving her enough fluids. The medication they give to my mum. Lack of care. When not having the right doctors, because our doctor was in the catchment area of where the nursing home was, and they decided to change our doctors for one of their doctors. And with my mum's doctor, he knew the history of my mum, because every time my mum was poorly, she had me coming with her to do the interpretation for her. But now when she had this new doctors from the care home, and if mum's complaining about something, she doesn't understand what my mum's saying, and can get frustrated and say that she's crazy.
Okay, so let me get this right, Michael. Just to summarize, that your mum had her normal GP in the community prior to going into the care sector. Can I ask how long did she have that GP for?
For about 10 years.
Okay, and every time that she would need to have a consultation with her doctor, you would go down as her son and act as an interpreter, so the doctor could understand her and her needs. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and now that she's ended up in this care facility in a care home, they've changed doctors. But why did they change the doctors without your permission or your mum's permission?
To make it easier for them.
But don't they need you or your mum's consent?
No, because they're saying if a person's hasn't got the capacity to decide,
okay, all right,
then they can take over.
Yeah, that's what they usually try, don't they? They say that the person lacks capacity. In your circumstances? I mean, did they establish when exactly did they establish that she lacks capacity? Because she's only entered the care system in 2017, and when did the doctors change?
I don't know when it changed. It's sometime when she was in the nursing home. They
Yeah.
said that she lacked capacity.
Okay, and then they're going to start making decisions for her. And then
Yeah.
they've taken her normal GP, whom had a history with your mum, and replaced that doctor, her doctor, with their own one of their own doctors. And that doctor, I take it, didn't speak. What was your mum's native language again?
Italian.
All right. Did he speak Italian?
The doctor, no, I can speak Italian.
Yes. But were you then continuing to do the translation or interpreting while she was in the care home?
When I was there, yes.
Okay, all
When I
right.
was there, I did the interpretation for my mum
Okay. And so this new doctor, did he ever see your mum without you there?
all the time.
So
I didn't
that's
know.
what.
I didn't know when they was coming round.
Yeah, that's right. Because normally the doctors come around to the care home and they do like a ward round or something. So when he would have come and done the ward round, how would they have communicated?
I don't know. That I can't answer.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just seems to me that. Are you aware? Did the care home hire an interpreter?
They did it once and they had a psychiatrist
I see.
for for my mum for court of protection because
Yes,
they're
yes.
trying to take over my mum's finance and property.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They had an interpreter, but when they called the interpreter, my mum was poorly,
Okay.
and I thought it was just a waste of time. I thought it was just a waste of time.
Yes, yes. I mean, we'll come on to this about the courts afterwards. What I want to focus in on is that your mom had her own GP for 10 years. The decision was made by the care home to remove that GP for one of their own preferred ones. That was maybe somebody who normally visits the care home, but he didn't speak any Italian, and they would then have to pay for an interpreter each time that you were not there.
I presume so.
Yeah, or not, because you're then saying that the doctor was saying, "Oh, she's just talking gibberish," but maybe she was not talking gibberish. Maybe she was talking Italian, and he couldn't
Yeah.
understand her. Yeah, it's just a bit strange that like they just can do away with your mum's rights while you're still there. So they themselves have concluded for their benefit that it's better for them that her GPB's changed, and yeah, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? I don't know what to say. I mean, they've just changed the GP without your consent on the basis that she lacks capacity, but that's not really been formally established. Were you involved in the capacity assessment process?
They did a dolls test for my mum, right? And I was there, and they said that my mum had capacity, but then you get the CCG who says my mum doesn't have capacity.
But how did the CCG say that your mum doesn't have capacity if you've done a dolls? I mean, dolls is deprivation of liberty
Yeah,
safeguard, isn't it? So
yeah.
who did the dolls?
It's Calderdale Council.
Also, the Calderdale Council social workers came down and did a dolls and established that your mum had capacity. Do you remember what day or when was that? What year? I mean, was it 2017 or 2018?
That'll be 2018.
All right. So they've already concluded that she does have capacity. And
Yeah,
capacity is one of these vague terms that they use, but what was a dolls for? What were they trying to establish a capacity?
to for my mum to decide if she wants to stay in the care home or she wants to move because of court protection.
Okay, all
He's
right.
trying.
And so the social workers have come down and carried out a Doll's assessment on your mum's regarding her capacity to where she wants to reside. And as a consequence of that, the social workers have concluded that she does have capacity. Then how does the CCG come to the conclusion that she lacks capacity?
Because we've got an evil head nurse who
Okay,
works for the CCG.
all right. All right, but evil though she may be, how did the CCG just simply turn around and undermine the social workers?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I just think that's an interesting point that, all of a sudden, there has been an assessment carried out in 2018, and then for the CCG simply to take the point that, oh, she lacks capacity, we're now going to change your doctors, no doubt change your medication without your consent or without your full awareness, and then proceed to, just railroad her down this pathway, I think is a good term, because that's what they normally do. They put people on a pathway. So what's happened is that they've got their own GP. They've got her in that home, and then let's talk about this next step that the CCG is doing. They're now trying to issue court proceedings in the court of protection. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. So why are they doing that for? Why are they instigating court proceedings?
To take over my mum, because I'm by myself, and they're saying that I'm not capable of looking after my mum, and they want to take control of my mum's property and finance. And my mum kept saying to them, she wanted to sell her property, buy a bungalow or buy another suitable property for both of us to live there and to have carers coming to house to look after my mum. That's what my mum wanted, but not to stay in the nursing home.
Well, yeah, that sounds a very reasonable proposition, doesn't it? And remember, we're in 2018 now, and she's only entered the care home in 2017. She's not happy with it there. She was previously out in the community, and you were looking after her. So you were looking after her prior to her coming into the care.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only reason that she's ended up in the care facility, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is that she's ended up going to St. James in Leeds, and as a consequence, through no fault of yours, she's ended up falling and breaking her wrists. So that's brought her into the care system, and then they're now claiming that you can't care for her. How do they calculate that? Because if anything, it's the state that's failed her. She's ended up in the care home in the first place. So how is it the fact that if she said she's broke her wrists as a consequence of going to St. James's, and I'm just trying to get my head around this because this just sounds very crazy, doesn't it? They've just then labelled you saying you can't care for her. So let me just break this down a little. What happened with St. James? Did you take a complaint against them for effectively breaking your mum's wrists?
I did a complaint with a solicitor in Halifax, but it never helped me. Then other problem was happening after. Didn't do anything about it.
Okay, all right. So obviously they cover their own backs, you see. Because she's fallen in one of their let's say establishments, she's ended up in another one of their establishments, which is this care home in Halifax. And your mum is saying, look, I don't want to stay here. The social workers have come down and done a capacity assessment regarding her ability to make decisions for herself. She is quite clearly being concluded that she does have capacity. And now what she's saying is that I want to go home and be cared for in the community. And I ideally want to sell my house and go into a bungalow. Can I ask, where are you living?
I'm not living in the UK no more. I'm living in Italy.
Sorry. At the time in 2018 when this is going on,
I was living in a flat.
Okay, all right, okay. So you were not living with your mum?
No.
Okay, and
because when mum was put in the care home, when she broke her wrist, I slipped and broke my leg.
Oh dear,
Uh,
oh dear. Terrible, terrible. Okay, so your mum's fallen and slipped, fallen and broken her wrist at St. James's, and then subsequently you've broken your leg. Oh dear. And what happened then? How long were you out for then?
I broke my leg in November, and I was not. I was about February. I was okay.
Sorry, November what year?
2017,
Okay, so what year, what month was it in 2017 when your mum broke her wrists?
November, both in November,
Also, around the same time.
around about same time.
Oh dear, oh dear, dear. That's terrible, isn't it? But both happening at the same time. So your mum's fallen at St. James's, broken her wrist. You've ended up breaking your leg. You're no longer in a situation to take care of her. So as a consequence, she's ended up in the care home, in the care sector. Now, by February time, you've mended yourself in 2018, and all you're trying to do is you and your mum are trying to get home, aren't you? Back to the situation that you were in. Is that correct?
That situation we was in with some support for both of us.
Yeah, because you can't look after your mum as you did before this incident in St. James in 2017, because now you've got a broken leg, and so ideally what you want, and which is sounds almost very reasonable, doesn't it? You want to go back home, and you want to have some carers put in place. Now they've got your mum in this care home, and you're asking for her to be discharged, and then the CCG have come along and said, you can't look after her. What explanation did they give?
They say that mum didn't have capacity.
Okay, but no, I'm saying that, all right, she doesn't have capacity, but you want to take care of her, and they're saying that you can't take care of her now.
They they're saying I couldn't look after her.
But why?
Oh, and I can understand I can't look after my mum on my own because I'm a male and my mum's a female.
I see. Okay.
And it's a limitation what I can do.
Yes.
That I can understand. But with support, like having carers coming 3 times a day, or staying a living carer, living with us for my mum's well-being and stuff. They
Okay.
could have done that.
I think they do that in most cases. They don't usually detain. I'm just trying to understand why they were like forcibly detaining your mum at this care facility because of the costs involved. Normally, what they do is they discharge people back home after they've like the injuries have been resolved, and they usually put a care package in place, and that's really done by the local authority, isn't it? So, what? Why would the CCG all of a sudden want to force your mum to stay in a place in that care home at cost to your mum and not allow her to go home and then not allow you to take care of her as well? And what was the CCG's argument that you can't take care of her? Why did they say you can't take care of her?
I don't know. That I don't know.
Yeah, because it seems quite obvious that they rather take litigation action because did they pursue litigation action because you were saying you want to take your mum home?
They start doing a court of protection.
But why?
I don't know why.
Okay, well, I think these are questions that need to be answered. There, it just seems that as soon as you through a set of unfortunate happenings or circumstances in, I believe, November 20, was it November 2017 when she slipped? Was it what month?
November 17, she broke her wrist.
All right, and you broke your leg.
I broke my leg about 2 weeks, 3 weeks later.
Okay, all right. And through no fault of yourselves, through unfortunate set of circumstances, you've needed the support of the state effectively. They've come along and they've provided put your mum into a care facility while you're recovering. Now that you have recovered and you want to get her out of there and go home, and they're saying no, because your mum lacks capacity, even though that she's got the dolls have concluded that she has capacity. So they've then now concluded that no, she lacks capacity, so she must remain in the care home. And you're saying that no, I want to take my mum home. So they're now going to go to the court of protection to force your mum to stay there, or what?
To force my mum to stay there for them to take over finance and property.
I see, I see. Well, I mean, this just quite clearly seems like a scam, doesn't it? I mean, they've seen the fact that your mum did your mum own the house?
My mum owned the property, yes.
I see, I see. So we've got a patient, namely your mum, who's got. Can I ask you what region is the property worth?
When after my mum passed away and I sold it, it was sold for £118,000.
All right, so your mum effectively is worth 118 over 100 grand now, isn't she? So she's ended up through a set of circumstances at this care facility, and they know the fact that she owns a house, and it's in their financial interest for her to remain there permanently. And because she's got a house worth over 100 grand, they could then sell that house to fund her to be in that care home. However, if she was to return home, can I ask, was your what? You don't need to tell me this, but was your mom getting like benefits? Because I'm just what normally happens is that social workers they try to establish, what kind of benefits you're on, so they can understand that do you need to pay for the care? Because if she was returned home, then there would have been a package of care for her, which I can tell you now is a standard process of 3 to 4 times a day calls for carers coming in to support your mum. So that would have been quite an extensive package, but it would have been free if your mum was like on if she was on a like income support or something, or some benefits. So just clear. It seems to me that there was an option that like force her to stay in the care home, sell a house, and use that money to fund her being in the care home, or in the alternative, let her go home, sell a house so she can downsize to a bungalow and have carers coming in, which would have meant that it would have been a cost from the local authority. That's the way it seems to me, that they just basically got your mum to extort money out of her. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So what happened? I mean, it seems that everything's happened in November. Let me get this right. November 2017, she breaks her wrists, and you break your leg, end up in the care sector. And is it by November 2018 that you catch the care staff abusing your mum in the care facility?
Correct, yes.
And then by the following November, she's dead.
She's dead, yeah.
That is amazing. It's coincidental, isn't it? Always November. You better watch out for this. Some bad misfortune happening this November.
I hope not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You better stay on your guard, because it seems that November seems to be a very unfortunate month for you and your mum. And you couldn't make this stuff up, could you? I mean, within 3 years, your mum's ended up dying when she was originally, doing fine.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I'll make you laugh. By November in 1979, me and my mum got knocked down in November.
There you go. That's what I'm telling you. Watch out. November's not your month.
That was 40 years earlier.
Okay, well, I got my fingers crossed for you. I hope nothing bad happens this November. What we on now? We're on the
October.
October the 11th. So November's around the corner. I would ask you to remain on your guard. Stay vigilant in November. There's these things are cyclical, innit? And you notice these patterns that happen. And so I think November's not a very good month for you and your mum. So tell us. What happened? You've told us what happened to the criminal conviction, criminal prosecution. Just shockingly, nobody went to jail. The care home still is running. Just remind me, what care home was it?
It was Claremont in Halifax.
Claremont, and they're still running, and so nothing really changed, has it? You've lost your mum, so you know that there's a consequences for the abuse that you'd witnessed. But what are the consequences for your mum dying like this? Because surely, was an inquest held? Like, what was the cause of her death? Sorry. It could not have been COVID because COVID hasn't started yet.
No.
So what did they say the cause of death was?
Pneumonia,
Yeah,
old age, schizophrenia,
yeah.
and an ischemic heart disease. Right. Pneumonia. Old age don't kill. Old age, you eventually die of old age, but it don't kill you.
Yeah, I mean, but she was not that. How old was she again?
86.
86 isn't old. I mean, I couldn't understand if she was over 100 because was she a smoker?
She never smoked in her life.
Yeah, was she a heavy drinker?
Very little. She didn't hardly drink. Maybe a glass of wine, something like that,
No, she
or
said,
half a glass of beer.
yeah,
Okay, odd occasion.
yeah. I mean, that's not. I asked if she was a heavy drinker. She's not exactly a heavy drinker, and she's not exactly like done a liver in or something. So I'm just trying to understand how it can be that somebody who has, somebody who is, effectively healthy, these things that you mentioned, so old age and schizophrenia is also not a debilitating condition. It doesn't kill you. All right. So rule those two out. Pneumonia can be easily induced if they like give her a bath and don't close the windows and stuff. So whenever I hear pneumonia, I'm always a bit skeptical because it's always like, that's what the go-to excuse that they use. But what else did he say? Heart failure.
Heart failure. She had an ischemic heart failure.
Okay. Now, did she
That was
before?
that was diagnosed in 2016, 2017, before she went into St James Hospital.
All right. So it was diagnosed that she had a bit of a heart condition. Because what I find
Yeah.
is that they'll often look for an underlying reason. So it seems quite reasonable. She got identified with a heart condition in 2016, and that was the cause of her death. But what about the medication that they were giving her? Because what they normally do is they look to see if there is a justification that they can effectively take off. Now, can you tell me about the medication that they put her on? Because she's ended up breaking her wrist in November 2017. Gone into the care facility. They've obviously changed the medication because you were not around because you've broken your leg as well. When you've come back there, what kind of medication did they put her on? Because surely there are side effects to medication that could have exasperated her heart condition.
They give me mum risperidone.
Hmm.
What's an antipsychotic drug?
Hmm.
And on the side effects on the package, even in the FDA in America, it's saying it's not recommended for dementia Alzheimer's patients because it's a massive risk of death for them.
Wow, that is so. So they gave her risperidone for her schizophrenia and dementia when the side effects is clearly stated that you shouldn't give it to these people.
People with like my mum was got an heart condition, they shouldn't
Hmm.
have given it her.
Yeah.
And because they give it her, it caused massive problems, causes anxiety, sleep deprivation, breathing problems, low blood pellet is a name for it. It low your blood pellets,
Okay.
and it can cause pneumonia as well.
I'm sorry. What do you call it? I'm not laughing here. I'm just thinking that
No,
that
I don't mind because I haven't got no problem with laughing because it makes you laugh as well as it's sad. It
yeah.
makes you laugh as well.
Yeah, I like I said, some people may take it the wrong way. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at the absurdity of it all. It's just you couldn't make this stuff up, could you? Like how more idiotic and asinine do you have to be? There's a medication that says don't give it to people with dementia, or don't give it to people with schizophrenia, or don't give this medication to people with heart condition. So they give your mum that medication, and then this is
The medications for people with schizophrenia
yeah,
is to help the people with schizophrenia. I haven't got the problem is to help people with psychosis.
yeah,
I've got the problems with the side effects.
yeah.
That's what I've got the issue. It's not because it helps people with psychosis or mental health illness. I haven't got the issue. I haven't got the problem with that. I've got the problem with side effects. When I'm warning the doctors, look, this is harming my mum. These are side effects what I can see on my mum, like drooling and stuff.
Yep.
And the doctor kept saying to me, "Oh, it's the best medication for my mum." My mum's dead now.
Yes, and I bet nobody's been held to account so far, have they?
Nope.
So, I mean, this just seems like not even something that you can put to, or well, it could have been either way. It just seems quite brazen because your mum had a number of conditions, if that's correct. They're saying that she suffered from schizophrenia. Now, I've got a brother that suffers from schizophrenia. Schizophrenia, a child can suffer from schizophrenia. So let's just say, for example, you're a 20-year-old young man and you're suffering from schizophrenia, all right, and you've got no other underlying conditions. This medication would be ideal for that patient, wouldn't it? You're young, you're healthy, but you've got schizophrenia. So you give this medication. Did you say risperidone?
Risperidone, yeah.
Yes, okay. But that was not your mum, was she? She was not 20-year-old having no other health conditions. She was an elderly woman with underlying health conditions, and some of those underlying health conditions are she had a heart issues diagnosed in 2016, and she had dementia. All right,
Yeah.
and this risperidone is for people with schizophrenia, which your mum had as well, but she had also these underlying health conditions. And so the doctors prescribed her with risperidone, and some of the side effects and the warnings on this drug are: number one, don't give it to patients with dementia, and don't give it to patients with heart conditions. Is that correct?
Its warning says if you go do it, give it short terms, maximum maybe 6 weeks, and monitor the person. But if you see any changes, take them off it.
Okay.
And when I saw the changes, and I saw the drug, what it was doing to my mum, they refused to take her off it.
I mean, you couldn't make this more blatant. So let me just get this right. The drugs risperidone is primarily an antipsychotic medication.
Yes.
All right. And it's prescribed to patients that have schizophrenia. All right. If you are to give it to patients with other underlying health conditions, you're supposed to give it in small doses and monitor the patient over a time period to see if there's any changes. If there are any changes, the medication itself is telling you to withdraw the medication. In your mum's circumstances, they're saying that she suffered from schizophrenia. The doctors prescribed her risperidone, and you have personally witnessed the change in your mum's circumstances, which are a drooling of the face and obviously not being very lethargic and stuff. You've highlighted this to the care home and the doctors, and what are they saying about this?
They're saying that was the best medication for my mum.
Even though you would later find out that there are side effects, all right, and those side effects were clearly being visible to you, but you were not being listened to. And what warnings did it say? Did you not mention earlier on that it said don't give it to people with heart conditions?
It's don't give it to people with heart condition. If you got low blood pellets like what my mum had, shouldn't give it to them because it makes it worse. There's all sorts of problem. You need to look it up. Risperidone and side effects.
Okay. And so the risperidone is giving warnings saying don't give it to these people with underlying conditions such as low blood pellets and a heart condition, which both your mum had. And then the doctors to come around and say the fact that that's the best medication for your mum. and then she died, right? It just beggars belief that it was just so blatant that they're responsible for her death.
They make it's led up to my mum's death, but it's Huddersfield Hospital killed my mum by doing the banned Liverpool pathway on my mum.
So let's get this right. Yeah. So your mum has ended up in this care facility. They've changed the doctors. They've got their own doctor on board. The doctors then prescribed your mum this risperidone medication, saying this is the best thing for her. She's got underlying conditions that the doctor should have been aware of because of the consequences of this risperidone as the side effects on these particular patients. Now, so she's deteriorating, but she's still in the care home. How did she move from the care home to the hospital?
Because I was not feeding my mum properly and not looking after my mum properly. My mum started deteriorating, and because I was poorly myself, and every time I was poorly, mum started deteriorating. And when I come to see my mum, she went so far downhill, and I complained to the nurse to call a doctor, and she didn't do nothing about it. And I phoned the doctor myself up, and I got a rollicking from doctor. They said I should have gone through nurse, and I told the doctor the problem, and they went to see my mum, or they sent somebody up. I can't remember if they went up or they sent somebody up to see my mum, and they said they have to send an ambulance for my mum. Right. For my mum to go to hospital, and they said the ambulance would be come within 1 hour. When I went to hospital, not hospital, to the nursing home, because I caught a taxi, hour came past, nobody came. Another hour came past, nobody came. Daytime staff changed to nighttime staff. And when it came to nighttime staff, as the nurse was doing medicine round, I let her do the medicine round, and I said to her, can you do a diabetic test for my mum? Right. Because she's not diabetic, but when you're not eating and stuff, yeah.
You had invited the doctors to come to see your mum because nobody was listening to the deterioration of her condition. The doctors gave you a telling off because they'd asked you to have gone through the nursing staff. But then, is it the doctors that have come down and checked your mum and said, look, she needs to go to hospital? And then how long? Just go through what happened then. How long were you waiting for?
They said to me the ambulance will come within an hour's time.
Okay. Oh, sorry. What day? Do you remember what day this was? It was in November, wasn't it? Oh no, sorry. What day was this? And what time?
Around about the 19th of November, 2019.
Yeah. Yes. And what time did the doctor come and visit your mum?
They came in about what, 2 o'clock, something like that.
Okay. And the doctor's come and seen your mum, and he said, look, well, she has deteriorated as per your concerns. And you want, and he's said that, call the ambulance or something. And the ambulance people have told you we're going to be over in an hour. Is that correct?
No. The people who went to see my mum, they said that, because I was still on my own, said the ambulance go come.
Can you say that again? Michael? I didn't quite make that. There was some ruffling on the noise. Can you say that again?
They said they go come within an hour to me. They phoned my flat up. They phoned me at the flat.
Okay,
and
all
they
right.
said to me they'll be coming to see me, this collecting my mum within an hour.
Who phoned you in the flat? Was it the care home?
The doctor.
Okay. When the doctor had gone down to see your mum at the care home, I take it you were not there.
No, I wasn't there because I was poorly. I was not that well myself.
Okay, I understand. So you've raised the concerns to the doctors. He's given you a telling off, saying that you should have gone to the nursing staff. But anyway, he's gone down and he's seen the deteriorated condition of your mum. He's rang you, said, "Look, somebody's going to be coming to take your mum to the hospital in an hour." Then what happened? What did you do then?
I caught a taxi
Okay.
and I went to nursing home to be with my mum.
Okay.
To when I go to hospital with my mum in ambulance with her.
Yeah, yeah. So this was around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, wasn't it, on the 19th? And
Yeah.
so what time did you get to the care home?
20 to 30 minutes.
Just 1 second, 1 second.
At the care home.
The line just broke up again. Can you say that again slowly?
Between 20 and 30 minutes.
Okay. And what time did you arrive at the care home? Do you remember roughly?
Say about round about 2:30, something like that.
Okay, so you were at the care home for about since 2:30, and then you were expecting the ambulance to have been there by 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So when did the ambulance come?
Ambulance didn't come. I was waiting and waiting. Right.
Uh-huh.
Then the daytime staff changed to nighttime staff.
Uh-huh.
And when the nighttime staff came, the nurse was doing medication round for other patients, right, at the nursing home. And when she finished giving the medication, when she finished doing medication at the nursing home, at the patients, I collared her and I called her.
All right.
And I said to her, "Where's the ambulance for my mum?"
Okay.
Right. And she said she didn't know nothing about it because the other staff didn't tell her.
Okay.
Right. But my mum was waiting for ambulance. Right. And she phoned the ambulance people and they said that my mum wasn't important.
Okay. What? So let me get this right, Michael. Once again, you've ended up at the care home around about 2:30 on the 19th of November 2019 as a direct consequence of the doctor contacting you and telling you that I've gone down to see your mum. She's not doing well. The ambulance is going to come within an hour to take her to hospital. You've ended up there for about 2:30. Now you and your mum have been waiting for this ambulance. The care staff have gone. They've come. The night staff have come on board. You've had a conversation with them, and the night staff have said we were not even aware of this. Did they not get informed that you are there? What time are we talking now?
About 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night.
Okay, all right. And they're saying they're not even aware that they were waiting for an ambulance.
Yeah, the night staff wasn't aware.
Okay.
And I said to the nurse, "Can you do us a favour? Because I know when you don't eat properly and you're not having your glucose levels go down."
Yeah, that's right.
Right. And I asked her to do a glucose test on my mum.
Okay.
And the result came to 1.5. What's dangerous? And she said we have to call a parrot. She called them back.
Uh-huh.
And she called them back and they have to do a parrot. And they called paramedic. And first not the paramedic, the other people came with car.
All right.
And they gave my mum a boost in glucose, what brought it up to 2.5.
Okay.
The paramedic came about 10 minutes later and put my mum on a drip and glucose, and it went up to 8.5.
All right.
And they took my mum to hospital. And I thought to myself, she's in hospital. She'll be fine. She'll be well looked after.
Uh-huh.
I'll go home because it's nothing for me to do, and I'll have a rest and come back next day.
Sorry, Michael, you ended up at the care home around about 2:30 on the 19th. What time did exactly the ambulance come and take your mum to the hospital then?
About 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Okay, all right. Okay, so they've come, all right. And then you've gone home thinking that, look, she's going to a safe place. And mind you, you've been out all day, so you want to go home and get some rest.
Yeah,
So this is on the 19th of November. We're now talking about the 20th of November, aren't we?
correct, yes.
All right. So you've gone home, had a bit of a rest. Then tell me what's happened afterwards.
When I came in to hospital to see my mum, I saw all the drips removed from her.
All right.
And I questioned the doctor, I questioned the staff about the drip not being on my mum. And the doctor came, member doctor saying that they put my mum on the palliative care and they'll be putting my mum a pump drive in her and giving my mum drugs.
Well, wait a minute.
And I just,
Michael, let me just jump in there again. It was 10:30 at the care home that they've come. You've raised some concern because she's she's not had any food, and so the paramedics have come over and said, look, her glucose levels or sugar levels are low. They pumped it up as you've explained. They're taking your mum into hospital, and you're going home. I wanted to know, after you'd gone home, when did you go to the hospital?
next day,
Like around about what time?
right early following morning.
Okay, and you've gone back to the hospital thinking the fact that, okay, well, I can sigh a bit of relief now. The GP's been out. He's had a look at my mum, through your protesting or whatever, and he's identified that she is ill. He said that the ambulance is going to come within an hour. You've gone back to the care home, been waiting down till 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock, they're taking your mum into a hospital. You've gone home to get some respite. You've come back to the hospital the next day, and you've noticed your mum without any kind of drips already on a pathway.
Yeah.
What? How does that make any sense? I mean, why have they put your mum on a pathway without consulting you first?
They say that my mum's organs failing, and I can't understand. If my mum's organ failing, how can the glucose drugs put a blood level back to normal?
Of course. And how is it that her organs have started to fail within 24 hours? Because let's say on the 17th she was okay, wasn't she?
Yeah.
On the 18th she was okay. It was only something happened on the 19th. That was, obviously it was a point of concern, and nobody was taking your concern seriously. So you had to go above the nurse's head to get the doctor to come out and see your mum. And after the doctor had gone out and seen your mum in your absence because you were not feeling well yourself, he said, yes, she is not doing good, and told the ambulance to come. The ambulance has not come until about 11 o'clock to take your mum to hospital. And the next day you've gone over and they're just telling you that your mum's organs are failing.
Correct.
Well, that is so once again I'm laughing because it's a nervous laughter because it's just stupid, isn't it? Why is your mum's organs failing for?
That's what they said, that my mum's organ was failing.
Which organ was failing?
You asked me.
Like, which organ was failing? It's just your mum's organs are failing now. That doesn't make. It's just I think like this is what is the reason I'm laughing. It's like you couldn't make this stuff up. It's like a comedy sketch. And if it wasn't for the so serious the fact that it's your mum, your love, and your the most important person in your life, it just seems like a comedy sketch out of I don't know. I mean, I don't mean to make fun of this. That's not who I am. But what you're telling me sounds like like a circus or something. Because then they're telling you that, oh, your mum's organs are failing. Okay, all right. So then they put her on a pathway, um, and now you just must accept that she's gonna die.
Correct.
I don't know what to say, man. I don't know how you cope with that, Michael. I mean, that's just some madness, isn't it? It's just some crazy insanity, man.
And when you think of it, from the day when they put my mum on the Liverpool pathway, the banned Liverpool pathway, by doing nil by mouth to my mum, and giving my mum diamorphine as a secretion drug, and you work it out from the 20th when they put my mum on the pump drive with all them drugs in her, right up to the 28th of November till she died at 1:30 in the morning. Right. Look how many days she was alive.
Yeah.
Fighting for life.
All right. And let me get this right. They eventually said that it should be nil by mouth, and they like I said, she was a strong woman if she survived 7 days, and they literally killed her, didn't they? I mean, there's no other way to say it. It's like you've taken away somebody's sustenance and done nil by mouth. What do you expect's going to happen? I'm sure, Michael, if I did that to you, if I didn't give you any food and water for 7-8 days, it would kill you off. It would kill anybody off. It would kill me off. I think it would kill most people off. So she was still strong enough to fight for her life, but she was now in an environment where a decision had been made that her life should be ended, and then she died.
Yeah, just playing God.
Playing God, and it's absolutely disgusting, Michael. Absolutely disgusting, and I don't know what to say, because it's first of all, obviously, my heart goes out to you because I've gone through a similar experience myself, and when you're telling me your story, I'm just, the reason I'm laughing is because I have it's a coping mechanism, because what do you want me to do, cry and I'm laughing because these are the exact same steps that happened in my own circumstances. So this aspect of where they play God, make a decision, and then are acting as God themselves, and I don't know what to say. It's just simply ridiculous that they can get away with this, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's somebody else trying to see that they're doing the same thing, Michael. They're utilizing basically commoditizing parenthood, and in your case, they were it was all money oriented, wasn't it? It was all to do with money. This poor lady, at least she's doing the right thing of recording everything. But when they know that you're recording, it puts them on a back foot. But
they don't like it. They hate it.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
It's like when my mum was in hospital, and Gail Holland gave the warning to the nurse, right, in hospital, warning about me recording staff.
Yeah. The thing is that they don't like being recorded, because then their lies, they don't lies lose credibility, you see. But it's always a policy whenever you deal with these people to covertly record. And I myself have made freedom of information requests to many organizations in the local district, and just ask them the simple question: is that what is your policy on members of the public covertly recording you? They will have to come back and tell you, well, we don't have a policy regarding this. We do have a policy regarding our staff members recording members of the public, because they have to do so. Because if any official person starts recording you as a free member of the public, then what that means is that they are, it's called surveillance, you see, and there are laws against surveillance. So they have to abide by the laws. So this is one of the reasons that they can't record us without our permission. But we, on the alternative, can record them covertly. Because if you ask them what is your policy on members of the public covertly recording, they will have to come and tell you that we don't have a policy. and there's no law against covert recordings. But it's often, you tell me, Michael, what, in the absence of having a covert recording like this lady was telling us, what's your defense against their pathological lying?
You can't lie on a camera or tape recorder.
No, you can lie, but you can't get away with it. That's
Yeah.
easy. You can't get away. And the way I see it, I mean, if you're gonna go to the lengths to tell me some whopping lies, I applaud you, and I think everybody else should take the time to listen to your whopping great lies. Don't you think? If you're telling the truth is kind of boring, isn't it? It's like, what are you gonna tell me? Facts.
It's like them people who abused my mum, the two the nurse and the carer. When they was arrested, first they pleaded not guilty.
All right.
Then they changed their mind to guilty because of video evidence.
Did they? Do you think they saw the video evidence when they pleaded not guilty?
I think they'd have been told. I think they'd have been told by their solicitors.
Yeah.
By his recording of them.
Yeah. I think normally the solicitor, any good solicitor, would advise them to go no guilty so they can have an opportunity to see the evidence. This is one of the reasons that they tell you, to go no comment in interviews, in police interviews, because it gives their solicitors an opportunity to defend themselves. And when their solicitors would have seen your recordings, they would have then naturally concluded that there's no way we can defend this, and would have then told them to go guilty. Because I think there's, when you caught people on a video, how are you going to get out of that?
You can't.
And similarly, I think that with regards to these social workers and the stood still children, you and I, we're on the other end of the spectrum where they're doing our parents and killing them off, and it's all for money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you think, Michael, that if your mum didn't own the house, do you think the same things, they would have done it the same?
I think so. If they've got a gun in for you, they've got a gun in for you.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I think that was a contributing factor that your mum owned the house. Your mum was effectively worth over 100 grand.
Yeah.
And if your mum didn't have the house, then the state would have had to pay. But I think then they would have put her in a care home because they're saying that she requires 24-hour care, and we can't afford to send carers to your house 3-4 times a day.
So,
So yeah, like I said, once you come in their crosshairs and radar, it's very difficult to get out. Like this lady that's come on board, I think she was telling me it was a bit complicated. I can't remember the full story, but luckily she's managed to get her kids. But the reality is that they're gunning for her. They're gonna get her. I think she needs to be. What I would advise if you're still online is that just get your children, get out of the country, because I don't think there's any other way around it. What much like yourself, you've left the country, but if you were to stay here, what could you do?
if I stopped in England, I'd been very depressed for what they've done to my mum.
Yeah. So before this woman come on board, I was just asking you, so your mum's died, and what the consequences of this? I mean, did you report them to the police, or did the police come involved, or what happened to the coroner? Obviously there was a catalogue of failures here.
Being to police, they don't want to know.
Did you report it though?
Yeah, report it, police.
Right.
They don't want to. They don't want to know.
Okay.
You try to get help. You try to go to solicitors. They don't want to know. They say if you got loads of money, about 20 grand, what I don't have.
Yeah.
Will help you.
All right.
He sold them for money.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the case, isn't it? They just want to make money out of misery, as I call it. They basically found a way to make money out of misery by torturing people. And I think, even though it's a horrible thing for me to say to you, Michael, that at least your mum had a good life, and with yourself, you managed to stay with her. This story on the other end of the spectrum, where mothers are having the children ripped away from them, by the state under much of the same circumstances, so they can be put into foster care, and it's a whole lifetime of misery, isn't it? Um, all I can say, Michael, is that look, and I say this to myself as much as I say to you, is that your mum was going to die one day or sooner or later. She could have died at the time when she was at St. James's, just like my mum could have died at numerous
Yeah.
stages. She would have most definitely wouldn't have survived the coronavirus scamdemic where they've just killed off so many people. So just take solace in this, that whatever happened, it's happened now, and we need to hold these people to account, because it's happened to you, it's happened to me, and no doubt it's happening to many other vulnerable people out there that are trusting the system now. If you knew then what you know now, that when your mum entered the hospital, you did a sigh of relief, thinking, woof. All right, she was in this care home. They were not looking after her properly. The doctors signaled that she's going to the hospital. So soon as she's gone to hospital, you've taken that moment to do a sigh of relief and get some respite, because you can't be up 24 hours a day. And little did you know that that was the final destination, and that they were going to end her life there and there. That was the most dangerous point of it all, and they put her onto the pathway. Yeah.
Shan, when you think about it, everybody has to die some point,
Yes.
right? That's life. We're born, we die, and there's nothing we can do about it. We can laugh about it, we can cry about it, but we can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
But when somebody decide, like doing the banned Liverpool pathway,
Yeah.
and they're deciding a person's going to live or die, what's illegal, euthanasia, how you pronounce it,
Yeah.
is
Euthanasia.
illegal in the UK.
Yes.
It's
Well,
totally illegal. It's not like you go to Switzerland and you can decide if you want to live or die.
yes.
I mean, if you go to Switzerland, it's your own choice if you want to do it or not. In the UK, we haven't got that choice.
Well, the thing is, Michael, the reality is that there's officialdom, what I term as rhetoric versus reality. The rhetoric is that, yes, you have human rights. The rhetoric is that euthanasia is illegal in this country. That is the rhetoric. The reality is that we have no human rights, and the reality is that euthanasia is alive and present, as your mum has been subjected to, as my mum has been subjected to, and my family have been subjected to,
And others as well.
and others, and as Dr. Vernon Coleman, you've seen my video, haven't you? Death by Doctor clearly confirms this. All right, so what I'm trying to do is kind of get the message out that don't be fooled by the rhetoric. All right, because if there was the Human Rights Act gives an inalienable right to privacy and a family life. Now, if that was true, how can children be taken away from their mothers and families destroyed? All right, there can't be if there was the reality of the Human Rights Act in place. And what they're trying to do now, I mean, I was listening to a reform, is it Nigel Farage, and he was saying that we want to get rid of the Human Rights Act, because obviously at least that is a legal barrier to say, look, what you're doing is wrong. Like, for example, in your mum's case, you could say, look, according to the law, according to the statutes, you can't go around murdering people. Not that it's a biblical thing, like the Ten Commandments. It's statutory law. Under the Human Rights Act, the right to life is a part of being a human. It's a Human Rights Act. Your mum's human. She does not deserve to die, so you can't kill her off. So at least you got some argument there. What they're trying to do now is that they know that the rhetoric is like falling apart, so they're just trying to get rid of the rhetoric. So they're not bound, and not that they're beheld to the Human Rights Act anyway or any legislations. They do as they please, but at least there's something there. But the reality is what really matters, isn't it? At the end of the day, we don't care about their laws that they've created to fool us. The reality is that they are committing euthanasia on an industrial scale. And this scamdemic of the COVID whatever was clearly indicative of this, don't you think?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So what to do next? I mean, obviously, I think it's good that we've had an opportunity to talk. I just wanted to come on this first live with you and give you an opportunity to speak. I'm just a bit disappointed. My good friend Alan's not managed to come on board. I'll try to get it sorted out, see what the problem was. But we've had a good conversation. I'm just looking to wrap up things now. Can you just tell me towards the end now what's happened subsequently after your mum passed away under these unusual circumstances? You went to the police. Did you go to the council? Did you ask them what happened to the coroner? What did the coroner conclude? Where are you now then? What kind of situation are you in now? Just if you could sum up what's been happening to your story, because I think we've spent this time going through your story, and it's quite interesting, alarming, and distressing, but it's very informative as well. So if you could just look to wrap up now, just tell us what happened towards the end after your mum's passed away. Just pick up from the story from there.
After my mum passed away, and I got my mum's will sorted out and trying to get help, all the help I can for my mum's case. Nobody wants to help me. And living in England, I was getting more and more depressed.
Okay.
And I just decided to sell up and move abroad to Italy,
All right.
where I still get depressed, but not as bad that I was in the UK.
Well,
And I took my mum's body back when my mum passed away. I took her body back home to Italy. She's not buried in England at all.
okay, all right. So you've managed to. I think you've been very lucky there, Michael. The fact that they came. I believe that this was spearheaded by the cost associated with the care costs, because it would have cost them at least 4 calls a day, around about 60 grand a year. All right, and they saw that your mum had a house. They would have sold that. She would have if she hadn't died when she did die, within another couple of years she would have been gone when the money would have dried out, and they would have taken the house. So you managed to get the house. It is it's a terrible. Once again, I don't think this is the right terminology, but it is a happy ending. I think. I'm not. Forgive me for saying this. It's like it could have been a lot worse. I don't mean this in like a pejorative way. It's still. It could have been the reality is, Michael, they could have taken the house. You wouldn't have had any money. You wouldn't have been getting out of the country. They would have probably, it could have been a lot worse. That's all I'm trying to say. I hope you don't take offense to that. I'm just trying to say that it ended up not going in their favor, at least. I mean, I know your mum died, but now as a consequences of her dying, you're here to raise the voice and highlight their failures. That's all I'm trying to say, is that at least you managed to get out. A lot of people, what I'm trying to say, I guess, in a broken way, is that it's a nightmare, but you're slowly getting out of the nightmare. Your mum was going to die one day, sooner or later, and that would have been grief for you to deal with.
It's like what I'm saying. We all have to die.
Yeah.
We laugh, we cry. Yeah, I can accept it more. She died naturally.
Yeah.
I've got no problem.
Yeah.
But doing nil by, even if they treated my mum and they did everything for my mum by giving fluids and she still passed away, I could have accepted it, because I could say, at least you've tried. You've done everything for my mum. But by giving my mum, putting my mum on the banned Liverpool pathway and giving my mum diamorphine, a secretion drug, and not giving any fluids at all, nil by mouth, and you're dehydrating her and killing her off. It's not like they give my mum one injection, they put her down like a dog, right? But they made my mum suffer for a week.
Yeah.
When you think about it,
It's heartbreaking.
from the 20th to the 28th, 7-8 days, no food, no liquid.
Yeah. Absolutely harrowing. Yes, I'm really, really sorry, Michael. I mean, what can I say? It's a harrowing story, and it's a story that I think everybody needs to hear. Obviously, I've taken the time to go through this with you. We'll hopefully do it again sometime, and we can go through these steps again. We'll try to get a bit more people on board. I mean, this is our first live. But thank you for coming on board and going through
Well,
this. My heart goes out to you, Michael. It really is, and obviously, I'm here to help and assist you as best as I can. But these guys need to be brought to account. It's just pure brutality, isn't it? It's the brutality of it all. Your mum, a dignified person, deserved a dignified ending to her life. She didn't deserve to die like this.
correct.
Yeah. It's just so sad, Michael, and I wish there was something I could do about it. But I think what you and I can do is try to raise this and try to get the justice that your mum deserves, because what these people did was diabolically fiendish and demonic, isn't it? It's like you've just taken somebody's life. I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss of words, and I just wanted to.
Guys, before you go, it's like in Scotland doing an inquiry
Okay.
about deaths for people in similar case what's happened to my mum and your parents,
Yes.
right? On undisclosed deaths and stuff like that. I think there should be an inquiry in not just Scotland, across the United Kingdom. That means Scotland, England, and Wales.
Well, Michael, I mean, I think I forwarded that to you, but there is a COVID inquest going on right now. I believe. I think Dransfield, he would have been able to better advise, because he's clued up. He's a brilliant, and he's fighting the system as well. But I believe there is a COVID inquiry still underway. What I sent you was the Scottish one, which has come to an end now. But you can see how it's been affected. But I think when it comes out, the UK one comes out, it's going to be even more damning, because obviously you and I have been a victim of this. But inevitably there has to be a COVID inquiry, because a lot of people have died as a result, not just of the virus and the handling of it, but obviously the vaccination program. So I think there are going to be further inquiries. But like anything else, nothing ever happens, Michael. They come on board and they say, lessons will be learnt, but nothing gets learnt, and they're just fooling us, aren't they? But I think it's important that, much like our friend from Shazology goes on about, is that don't trust these people. That's, I think, the message at the end of the day, is that you and I, being completely unknown to each other, have gone through same experiences, and it's because we've trusted the system. And all we're going to say is that our mothers have brought us into this world, raised us, and brought us up to be the people that we are. We cannot abandon them to the system. We must take care of them ourselves and fight these people as much as we can to keep them, give them the deserved, dignified ending to their life. Now, your mum and my mum have been robbed of that dignified ending. But if we can highlight and get this message out to other people, so other people's mothers are not given the undignified ending to their life like our mothers have, of being, brutally murdered in this manner. And they were murdered. Let's not beat around the bush. They have been murdered by the state. And I think that's a good way to sum up. Is there anything else you want to say, Michael?
Not just that.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to conclude it. I think we've had a good first session today. I think we would like to end it today, and hopefully we can take you up again soon. Okay.
I'll catch you later, and thanks to anybody who's been listening to this cast.
Okay.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.